Hello everyone, welcome to Chris Pritchard's Cycling News, and it has been a transition. As I was saying, it's been a very busy weekend with the cycling news, so let's get straight into it. And the first news coming out of the UK is that Madison Genesis, one of the, if not the biggest team in the UK racing scene, is going kaput at the end of 2019. The team started in 2012 and began racing in 2013, and it has developed some of the best UK talent you have seen. However, title sponsor Madison are looking to invest money in other areas of cycling. It's such a shame to see another big team bow out of the UK racing scene, because we've seen One Pro Cycling go now, we've seen JLT Condor go out, and now we're seeing Madison. What's next for the UK racing scene? Where are these riders going to go that are on the roster for this year and don't have a contract for next year? There's going to be too many riders and not enough seats. It'll be really interesting to get your thoughts on what you think is going to happen to the UK racing scene. It seems like we've been here before. Back in the 80s, there was a huge buzz around city centre races, the Milt race, things like that, right into the early 90s. And then the UK scene took a little bit of I don't want to say a dive, but it wasn't as lucrative and as interesting as it became back in, let's say, 2008. Once Beijing kicked things off with everyone getting back into cycling, then London, it just brought a huge influx of money into the scene, a huge influx of brand new sponsors wanting to get a piece of the action, but that all seems to have disappeared now. Madison maintained it and carried on, but you just don't see any of the sponsors anymore. So what's going to happen? Do you think it's going to regress itself until there's no pro teams back in the UK and it's all going to be a club level and a grassroots level? Or do you think we'll get an influx of new sponsors coming in because the price of entry now is a lot lower than it used to be? And don't forget, leave your comments below. The UK racing scene, is it just imploding? And now a story that hits me deep in the feels. The UCI have decided to reform track cycling for the 2020 and 2021 season. So late on Thursday, the UCI dropped a press release, and in it there was some huge reforms for track cycling as well as cyclocross. The main gist of the track cycling part of it is the fact that they're going to reduce the track cycling World Cup events down from 6 to 3. And not only that, it's no longer going to run from October to January like most track seasons do. It's now going to run from July to September. The World Cup is also going to change its name now to the UCI Track Cycling Nations Cup. Not only that, but Track World Championships are going to be moved from March to October. That kind of makes sense in the fact that they're going to put them at the end of the UCI Track Cycling Nations Cup season. But what doesn't make sense, and this has caused some huge controversy after we've seen some amazing trade teams coming out of the UCI World Cups, is that you'll only be eligible to ride in your nation's colours. So this ultimately means that Hub Wattbike and Beat Cycling are no longer going to be able to ride in the UCI Track Cycling Nations Cup. That's a huge blow, not only for track cycling across the board, get it, board? But also for the riders in those teams. When I was track cycling, the best I could have always hoped for was to race in a World Cup, because I was never going to make it onto the national squad, but there was always a chance that you could ride for a trade team. If you could find someone who had enough interest in track cycling, who had enough money, they could actually create a UCI track trade team, and then you could go and race these World Cups, and it could be the pinnacle of your career. And I always saw that as the pinnacle of my career. If I can make it to the UCI Track World Cups, then I felt I would have made something out of my cycling. However, it never happened. But with the likes of Hub Wattbike and Beat Cycling, it allows riders who are clearly talented, way beyond that I ever was, to be able to go and actually compete at these races and beat the world's best. Without the Track World Cups, we would never have seen Hub Wattbike, Dan Bingham, John Archibald, the American dude with the crazy tash. All these riders have come from nowhere. But leave a comment below and let me know why you think the UCI have just hammered the last nail into the track cycling coffin. Moving on now, and over the weekend, Egan Bernal took overall victory in the Tour de Suisse. But on Saturday, it could have been a completely different story. So this is the moment right here that everybody held their breath as Egan Bernal somehow managed to keep his bike upright into this tight left-hander on the time trial. Listen, right, this is going to be an unpopular decision. I know this. It wasn't that impressive. Like, come on.
Place to dirty area. Again, I lose the front. I say, no, now I...
That is a save. He literally just went in a little bit too hot around the corner, had to skid a little bit. and then carried on. Let's compare it to the other big save of the year, Jakob Fuglsang's. I still claim that was more luck than judgment. The fact that his back wheel stepped out allowed the front wheel to correct itself. Had the back wheel not stepped out like it did, the front wouldn't have come back to him, it would have actually folded. Now listen, I used to race motorbikes, so these kind of things happen on a lap by lap basis, so you kind of just get used to them. In cycling it's seen as a little more extreme, so when you see that as a cyclist you go whoa, but don't take my word for it. Let's get the views of an ex-BMX racer and highly skilled road rider, Cameron Jeffers. I think he's seen the news with Geraint and Froome's crash and felt left out, so he decided to bloody send it. I don't think skill saved him. I think he just got lucky. There you go, the voice of reason, Cameron Jeffers. And I tend to agree with him. That's the Tour de Suisse under his belt and the Paris-Nice from 2019. Is Egan Bernal now going to go into the Tour de France as potentially one of the favourites? I don't know. According to a news report today, he said, I don't know. I don't choose that I'm the favourite. In any case, I'll go with G. He'll be our leader. I'll try and help him. If he's better than me, for sure I'll help him. I don't have any problems to help him. Look, I'm just 22 years old, so I think I have a lot of tours in front of me. But I guess the big question is G going to be in the form that he needs to be in after he suffered his crash? Because he's lost 2 massive days in the mountains at the Tour de Suisse, and it would have been nice to see him and Egan Bernal going, not necessarily head to head, but at least Bernal having to work for him or G having to work for him, and just seeing what the two look like when they're riding together up those mountains. Is it going to be another Froome and Wiggins kind of situation? Is he going to leave G standing if he feels better than him? I don't know. But like he says, he's got a lot of tours in him, so does he really need to rock the apple cart right now? Or is it better just to sit and work for G and do what he needs to do, whether he feels stronger or not? It's going to be really interesting to see how the team dynamics work out in that situation. I think had Froome been there, then there'd be no question that the order would be Froome, G, and then Bernal working for both of them. But now he's just shown how strong he actually is. He's shown that, you know, even though he's only 22, I think he's more than capable of leading. And you can see that the team want to work for him as well. He's obviously a well-respected rider within the team. As ever, what's your thoughts? Leave your comments down below. Do you think we're going to see another Froome-Wiggins situation? Or do you think he'll respect the position that G's won a Tour, that G is going in there as team leader and he'll respect that and follow orders? Or do you think he'll go rogue when he gets to... Or do you think he's going to go rogue when he starts seeing those roads go uphill? And before we move away from the Tour de Suisse, huge congratulations to Hugh Carthy on his Stage 9 victory. What a ride. I think he went solo from about 100k to go, something like that, on the second climb. And he just soloed away. It was very, 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 very impressive. Same with the Tour de Suisse now. And did you see this tweet over the weekend of Peter Sagan being, once again, the good guy of the peloton? What an absolute diamond. Staying with Twitter as well, and did you see the savage tweet from Ilio Kaiser at the weekend? So Cycling Ideas tweeted, any funny link between a rider and a certain race, place, situation or moment? And then he has a list there of Gasparotta at Amstel, Port, Wollonga Hill, Spilak at Switzerland, Dombrowski, third week of the Grand Tour, Colbrelli in a rainy sprint, Vellens in a rainy day, and obviously Van Garderen at the Tour of California. To which Ilio Kaiser replied, Buani, disqualified, and Kittel did not start. Savage. Moving on to YouTube news now, and Francis Cade is still on the GBDURO ride. We can actually take a look live now to find out exactly where he is. So there he is, just on the outskirts of Bristol, and I'll be honest, it looks like he's been there for quite a while. I don't know if something's happened or he's been there for a couple of hours now. But over the weekend, what has been happening with him? Well, first off, he had a bit of an off, like on the first day.
How many Ks are we in? Not that far.
E25.
We're like 25 Ks in. Barely anything at all. And I stacked it on one of the gravel sections,
which hurt his ankle, sprained it a little bit, struggling to actually walk on it, but riding looks to be okay. And then on Sunday, he got bit by a bloody dog.
The owner starts calling it, it's doing this, and every time you move, it comes back. And then Francis just moved one more time, and it went, come.
Oh, it did actually beat you?
Yeah. Bit him.
Not only that, but his riding partner also had a bit of an off.
You right?
Yeah, I think
Just checking out that bush.
Just checking out that bush.
So make sure you go and check out the link in the description to his latest video from the GBDURO. It's really interesting to get an insight of a crazy race. So if you don't know, this GBDURO, they're setting off from Land's End, they're riding all the way up to John O'Groats, off-road. Yeah, off-road, on gravel, as much as they can. So they're heading into Wales, all the way across Wales, and then all the way up to the top of the country. All right, now I know on Friday there was a lot of talk that I missed out the comments section, but the video took me so long to edit, I apologise, and we had to shoehorn in Egan Bernal's win on the stage of the Tour de Suisse, so forgive me. We'll have an extra special one right now, okay? James Barnes, good question. I'll answer this now rather than later. Chris, track on boards, what gear do you run versus a concrete track like Heron Hill? I presume you mean Herne Hill, and normally, oh God, the last time I rode an outdoor track was 2011? 12, I think. Me personally, I'd probably run, like, for qualifying and racing, 92 to 94, which is probably really low compared to a lot of people in sprint events. Scratch and points races, you're probably looking around something similar. I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out. If you ride track, both outdoor and indoor, let us know in the comments below. What difference do you make in your gear selections? Is there a lot of difference? I presume outside is always going to be lower, but how lower? Probably 4-inch, 6-inch, something like that, I'd say. A rough guess. But I've never ridden Herne Hill, so I'm sorry. Carl, I don't know if he's referring to me in this one, but utter shite. Threw me too much of a warrior to fake even a puncture. Knew him years ago. Unbelievable driving commitment. No one's denying that. He could have beat this nugget on stabilizers when he was 12. Dadbra, this guy ever get to the point? Talk about dribbling shit. Someone tell me if I can block this guy on YouTube. Sick emoji, thumbs down. So I replied, yeah mate, you can block me on YouTube, no problemo. Thanks for watching, I appreciate your kind words. That wasn't the end of it. Dabra, thanks, thumbs up. With YouTube's broken system, if you get caught on a clickbait video, you get stuck with the channel's backlog in your feed. I know, I replied. I know the feeling, mate. I know my stuff ain't for everyone, and that's cool. I'm just trying to do my best, and hopefully, if I get it right, enough folk will like it. Appreciate the reply. Hey, listen, trolls or nice comments, you've got to treat them both the same. It's always nice to try and, you know, change the opinion of a troll as well, because some people just type it because they're annoyed, and then actually they're actually not actual knobs. Where's my favourite comment? There was a really good... I know we shouldn't give trolls time of day, but some of them do make me laugh. I didn't even see that comment. Kind Pits. You know, it's one thing about all these people that leave mean comments or negative comments. None of them have a profile picture. They're all hiding behind their blank profiles. You're such a fucking cringelord with this wannabe comedian routine. Oh mate, thank you for your kind words. Thanks for reaching out. It's great to hear I have fans. Bit of sarcasm there. You see, you did it again. Not funny. I'll reply now. Come on. You laughed a little. But that doesn't entitle you lot to leave mean comments knowing that I'm going to read them out online, okay? I don't appreciate them. I don't like them. But they are funny. Anyway, we've reached the end of the show. Make sure you hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you know when we go live with our live streams or we drop a brand new video. Don't forget, new show coming 5 days a week. Keeping me in a full-time job. Thanks for watching, everybody. Do what I've told you to do. And until next time...